This podcast is for teachers to help you remember how to use Naviance to complete your teacher recommendations. It's also intended for new teachers who may not have used Naviance to understand how to use the product in order to complete and submit teacher recommendations. When you sign into your Naviance account, you will see a screen that looks like this. Your account is always CPREP, S-E-A-P-R-E-P. The username is typically the first letter of your first name and your last name. So normally for me it would be S-Foy. I've created a fictitious teacher account, so for right now I'm using Sandra. The first time you sign in, you will use the password that is generated by the email you receive, and then you will quickly create your own password and use that from then on. Once you sign in to your account, you will see a page that looks like this. And over on the left-hand side, you will see some quick links. The one you want to select is called Teacher Recommendations. When you select this link, you will see a listing of students who have requested you for their teacher recommendations. I've made a fictitious student here called CPREP Panther, and you can see that if you go over to the right, you will see the nearest deadline for this student is 12/1. That's the date you want to look for to make sure that your recommendations are complete and submitted by the earliest deadline. You're also able to click on the link that says View Apps, and this will take you to a listing of the student's colleges. This can be helpful to you in understanding how selective the schools are to which the student is applying, and it can also help you to know if perhaps there's a school where you have a special connection. So in this instance, I'm going to pretend that I am an alum of Santa Clara University, and maybe I feel inspired to want to send a special letter on behalf of this student to Santa Clara. I'm going to show you when we complete the forms how you might do that. The next step is to go up to the top where you see all these yellow tabs, and you're going to select the one marked eDocs. Once you select that, you will see some blue links below, and the first one you want to select is the Prepare link. This takes you to a page where if you scroll down to the middle, you will see a section called Teacher Documents, and I want to click the link that says Add. The first step is to prepare the form. So you're going to select Prepare Form, and then you're going to go over to the right and look at the drop-down menu and select Common App Teacher Evaluation, and then Prepare Form. When you select it, the form comes up for you to complete, and you will notice that by default it lists that this form will be sent to all applications, that is, all applications on the Common App. If, for example, I wanted to create a special form and letter for one particular school, I would hit the drop-down menu and select the school. I would also have a letter that I will upload later that's addressed specifically to Santa Clara, and this form and the letter will go to Santa Clara. What's important to remember is that if you choose to do that, you will need to go back and create a second form that will go to all the remaining colleges. Most teachers are using this All Applications link. Very few teachers write a specific letter to a specific school. That is just an option you have should you care to do that. The next thing you need to complete is how long you've known the student. So in this case, I'm going to pretend I've known the student for 2 years, and that in addition to teaching them, I've also been a coach. You then need to just indicate a couple of descriptive words, and I'm just going to make up a couple here: diligent and inquisitive, and indicate those words for the student. You have to complete the subject area in which you taught the student. So I'm going to pretend I taught this student English and that I taught the student in grade 11. I then have to list the specific courses, so I'm going to pretend there's a course called English 11. And then you'll notice that the next section on here is called Ratings, and you'll notice that the box is checked No. That is because Seattle Prep has elected not to complete teacher ratings for students, feeling like the students have a better advantage if the schools make their own determinations. So just leave that marked No, don't change anything there, and then go down to the next section, which is your personal profile. Once you complete the personal profile once, you will not need to complete it for your other teacher recommendation forms. It will stay completed for you throughout the process. You have to make sure you have a prefix selected. You have to make sure your name is here. your role. And notice that the phone number has to be exactly in the format as it is indicated here, otherwise the form won't save correctly. And once you have completed all of that, you will simply save the form, and the form will then show up on your teacher documents. Once I've completed the form, I will go back to the Add button, and this time I'm going to upload a file. I'm going to go over to the right and I'm going to choose the type of file that I'm uploading, and in this case it's going to be for all applications again. I'm going to choose Letter of Recommendation, and then I'm going to browse on my computer to find the letter. And once I find the letter, and in this case I've just put one on my desktop to be able to select for you. Then you're going to select the letter and choose it, and then hit the button that says Upload File. And you'll notice that this is uploading. I've already uploaded it once so that I could show you the next step of this process. The next thing you do is you're going to go up to the top where it says Prepare and go over one button to the Send button. This takes you to a page that lists all of the students' schools, and this is where you will select your letter and your form to send. We won't really be able to send them right now because I haven't connected this account to a common application. But basically what you're going to do is for each school you can select full details. You'll be able to scroll down and find your letter and common app form, and you simply select that. And then once you've completed them all, you will go down and review and submit. Because this is a fictitious student, we can't really review and submit, but let me tell you that once you review and submit, you will receive a second screen that asks you to verify the documents you are submitting. Please do not accidentally submit some other teacher's form or the school report and counselor letter. Just select your own letter. You will need to do this for all schools that are on the student's list as of the first deadline the student has. So for the first deadline the student has, in this case I believe the deadline was 12/1, you're going to select all of my teacher letters and recommendations and submit them. If a student adds schools after the first deadline, we will send your materials for you. Finally, here are a couple other little things for you that you might find helpful. There's a link on the side of each student's page that says Send a Message. This allows you to send the student a email message should you have a question. Next, I want to show you that on the student accounts, and I'm going to go back to our fictitious student, that if you look at the first page of the student account under the General tab, you will see that it has basic information about them, including their GPA. The next tab over, which says Plan, has some student surveys. Now this is a fictitious student, so they do not yet have a teacher survey. But when you go to complete the student letter of recommendation, a survey will appear here for you that the student has completed based on their experience in your class. So you'll want to look for that survey and click on that and read that before you write their letter. One tab over takes you to their test scores should you want to use that. And then once again you can go back to colleges and see the schools to which they have applied. You can also go back to eDocs and you can check in the submission status whether or not your materials have gone. So I hope that helps all of you to understand how you use the Naviance account to send teacher letters of recommendation. Should you have any questions, please contact Sandra Foy, Kate Goodwin, or Janet O'Neill in the College Counseling Office, and we will be more than happy to help you.